take me back off and let Sim say more wonderful things. And also, let me just say thank you, Ashmatic, for delaying your departure.
No problem. I just didn't want to miss some of that sun. It's a sexy Sunday.
Oh, mate, it's lovely here as well. How are you both and everyone in the chat?
Yeah, we're doing okay. Wasn't a great game today, was it? Let's be honest. It was another shambolic performance. Another performance we deserved to lose.
Yep.
When you are watching that, Brian, what are your feelings? Is it a case of it doesn't matter because we're going to Bilbao, or does it matter?
It's a bit of both, but the thing that, as much as I am annoyed with Ange Postecoglou, as much as I am annoyed that why can't he use some of his European away day formation and tactics for Premier League games and adapt in the Premier League, and I actually think if he did do that in the Premier League, we'd probably be a lot higher up the table. Would have had 20 league defeats, and the team would get into some kind of rhythm regardless of who plays. But as much as we can all go on about Ange and everything today, I don't even really want to. Obviously, people know my feelings towards him, and a lot of people. I want to talk about two things really, and one will be the Tottenham Hotspur players, and second, change for Spurs and this weak fan base. This spineless, toothless fan base. But we'll start with the players. We'll start with the players. Now, I grew up of an age when you were watching football, if your team had got to a final, or let's just say England or whatever nationality you are, and you follow before a World Cup and a Euros tournament, if you're on the peripheries and you were called up and you got a chance, you grabbed that chance and did all you can to put in the performance of a lifetime to make the manager pick you to go on that World Cup trip with your country or Euros trip, or in this case, to force your way into a final, to play for that shirt in the final, to represent Tottenham Hotspur. There were lots of changes there today, which we all knew were coming, so we can't be. But you would think that they played this formation and system 36 games, whether it be injuries, whatever. You have a chance now in these two games, which, let's face it, the mainstay players will be heavily rested. You've got a chance to go, Ange Postecoglou, you may have forgotten about me. Here I am. This is what I can do. And each and every one of them were abysmal today. Abysmal. Crystal Palace, we can go through we've only got one game a week. They're playing an FA Cup final next week. And normally you're saying, normally the excuse would be if they had lost, those players weren't playing correct because they didn't want to get an injury for the final. They didn't want to risk getting hurt for the final or whatever. Crystal Palace tore us to smithereens, ripped us to shreds. The first half was bad. But like I said, I'm not even here to talk about Ange Postecoglou. This is on the players. Yes, we could say the formation. We've been here, done that, tried it. These players just don't care. They just walk around. Have you ever seen our midfield so open? Gray had an opportunity to impress in this position. Everyone I was one of the ones that said Ange Postecoglou threw him under a bus playing him at Liverpool. Well, home to Palace, you should be able to do something or feel a lot more comfortable and be able to put in a performance. You didn't. Spence has been, listen, his form has been questionable the last few weeks. No matter whether he's played at left back, right, the players just simply aren't putting it in. And as much as I would love to sit here and go nuts at Ange Postecoglou and go, he's done it again. The only thing I'll say with Ange is, why has he gone back to a formation? If we're in a European final, you'd think we'd be playing the way we played against Frankfurt and Bodo. So you've got these games to find the team you want to choose from the fringe players and get them used to playing that away day Europe formation to hopefully beat United with that kind of performance. And I seriously think if we had played that kind of style more often, we might be doing better. But no, it just wasn't good enough, was it, Simarash?
No, it was shocking. There's no doubt about it. I think going into this game, we knew there was going to be many changes, and we knew that it was probably going to lead to a highly disjointed performance. I was hoping it wasn't going to be that much of a mismatch, but that's what it was, especially Decky going off early as well.
Yep.
That probably hurt us as well. We ended up with 14.
Sorry to cut off there. Has there been, since I've been travelling home from the yard, has there, Ange or the club said anything about, was Decky a precautionary or?
Ange has said that it looks like it's just a knock and he should be okay. That's what he said.
Okay.
But
Okay.
So
Well,
hopefully it's all right. Which is probably the right thing to take him off if there's any doubt. But obviously we ended up having 4 teenagers on the pitch, didn't we? For a lot of that game, backed up by Danso and Davis at the back, and obviously a young keeper in goal as well. And Palace, whatever you want to say about them, that was pretty much their first choice team, wasn't it? That's probably going to play the final. So they were much more settled in it, and it definitely showed. But it's hard to still watch that game and find many positives when, trying to look forward.
I think the only positive you can find is that hopefully Decky is only a knock.
I actually thought Odebear in the 10 wasn't terrible. I thought he looked a bit better in the 10.
Yeah, but see, that's where we are now, isn't it? He looked a bit better in the 10. That's where we are in the Premier League now. I think when Odebear went to the 10, he looked a little bit better. That's where we are. And listen, I personally think Odebear can become in a few years an important player to Tottenham. But how many players have we got that it's going to be important in a few years that they might be good, and when we're probably on our 5th manager in that time, it just blows my mind. It is just a shame, like I said, that you would have thought, like I said at the beginning, when a Europa League final spot is up for grabs in certain positions, or maybe even positions that are pretty much nailed down, let me put in a goddamn performance to give Ange Postecoglou something to worry about. Or think about. Let me try and force my way in and show that I'm good enough and I can stand up to the test. And they just jogged around like it was a game at Hackney Marshes.
Do you think it was the right decision to rest so many players?
So, Joe, I was surprised he played Porro. I was surprised he played. The one thing I think I was discussing it with Ben as well, with Kulusevski. Yeah, I was speaking with Ben about this last night. With Kulusevski, I mean, it's all paramount now incidental now that he went off. But I was saying to Ben, and I asked you two and people in the chat, if you had, with Decky, would you have thought it would have been best to wrap him in cotton wool and maybe give him 5-10 minutes sub of each game and let him completely refresh and be 100% ready, as in energy-wise? Or do you think you should have started him and tried to play him into form and give him the minutes? Because I would have been more on the first. I think he still might be carrying a little knock or niggle, and maybe a longer rest so he would have been energised and ready may have been better than trying to play him into form. I mean, I don't know what you two think.
I thought actually play him into form, because there's no point wrapping him in cotton wool if he's going to not play well. You know what I mean?
But what I'm saying is maybe he's still not 100% match fit, and the rest...
Even more so than you need to play him more.
Yeah, I mean, it's 6 and 1 half a dozen the other, isn't it, really? I can see your point of it, but you could see these changes. If anything, I was a little bit disappointed we didn't get to see like a Ajayi more for long. All right, we got to see more for obvious reasons. I don't know why Dane Scarlett didn't even get on the bench. It was just confusing. But listen, we knew that this was going to happen. And there's a lot of people going, yeah, Premier League results don't matter because we're in the final. That's where we are as a club right now. But what I would have expected, win, lose or draw, is that the players put in a shift, win, lose or draw, and gave Ange some thinking to do for Villa, and then the final to go, do you know what, maybe my first team isn't as set in stone as I originally thought. But we're 17th now because of West Ham doing it. Oh, by the way, what's the field score?
It's 2-2 now.
Oh, you're joking. I should never have left the yard. It was 2-0 when I left. It's my fault.
Absolutely.
It's my fault. But yeah, the other thing I just wanted to talk about was listen, there's some people it's not even the protest. what got me is the irony of this fan base. And when I'm talking about the fan base, people will understand I'm talking about particular sections of this fan base. Change for Tottenham organised another protest. And when they organise these things, a lot of time, work, effort goes for people that just turn up to the protest because they want to lend support and everything. Mm-hmm. Brilliant, fantastic. You just turn up on the day, everything is catered for. The meeting place, the time, the banners, the hard work, the effort, the money that people put in, everything they put in. They have to organise these things in advance. They can't just go, oh, turn up tomorrow, we're doing this. There needs to, obviously, we didn't know that we'd get through to the final. It was 50-50. If we hadn't have gone through, everyone had gone, yeah, let's do this, blah, 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 blah. Then we got through to a final. And then this whole thing, oh, we've got to back the team, we've got to back them, we've got to do this, we've got to show our support. When this has never been anything about the players, anything ever to do with the players. Bear in mind, on the 2 protests that Change for Spurs have done, we've won both games. And the team has been supported the whole game. But they said, no, don't do it at half-time. It's a disgrace. Oh, my God, don't do this. It's really bad. Back the team, back the lads. So Change for Spurs, listen to the fans. Do that. And then the biggest irony, 2-0 and playing shit, thousands leave early. So it's you go get your train. So it's okay. Don't protest against the board at half-time, which this whole thing was about the board, because we have to back the players through thick and thin. They need us now. Mm-hmm. But then thousands of you leave early. Oh, the irony of it all. The irony, but if Change for Spurs or people that want to protest against the board, negative, toxic, get behind the lads. It's all about that, never backing the lads. Well, why didn't you back the lads? Why did you leave early? Everyone had a go at Danny leaving at whenever he left at half-time at Southampton. Oh, you're not a real fan. You left early. It's negative. Everyone going at Danny Kiriakou and other fans. But the fans that say, oh, back the team, we'll leave before the game. We'll leave before the game finishes. But that's okay because we're in a final. The irony of this fan base. Like I said, everyone has their right to do whatever, but don't go having a massive dig at Change for Tottenham for all the hard work they've done and everything they do. And then they listen to the fans and do what the fans, what a majority asks, just to see that happen. It's bullshit. It's utter bullshit. But it's not negative because we didn't sing a Levy song. We'll just turn our back on the team and walk out early. But that's okay.
In terms of the protest today, Brian, I wasn't there. Obviously, Stel was saying he's heard about, it's a much smaller turnout today than. Oh,
it was a much. Listen, I've seen a few pictures. It was a much smaller turnout, smaller than I actually would have thought. But hey ho, it's okay. We're just remember we're in a final. 20 league defeats, 17th in the league. All of the other stuff, it doesn't matter because we are in a final. Listen, whatever people want to think, but I just don't like it when people are so big to criticise people like myself and all the hard work that goes in. Like I said, as you know, Sim, as you know, Asthmatic, I've arranged protests. I've stood outside in the freezing cold in January. I've done things. I've walked the walk, talked the talk. I've flown home from Canada to be there. And I stand by my beliefs. And then you've got people that think it's just, oh no. The amount of time that Jay and all the lads that Change for Spurs and ladies put in at Change for Tottenham to organise such things, to do such things, respond via email, social media, go on streams, do this, do that, do all the stuff to get it in the media. That's their own time. Forget what they've got to do with their jobs, their family life, and everything else. Forget all that. They just think it's like that. Oh, we'll turn up, let's have a pro. So, whereas people can say yes or where people can say, yeah, I'm going to attend it or not, don't start saying, oh, we've got to back the team, we've got to back the lads, don't do this at half time, put your agendas aside or whatever, or your other beliefs behind, support the team, we've got to show them a sort of stadium was blooming quiet as anything for a majority of the game, and then you leave before the final whistle, but have a go at change for Tottenham for trying to do something at half time for 10 minutes. Come on, there's people say.
What do you say to fans who argue a few days after getting to a European final for first one in 6 years and on the cusp of potentially our first European trophy in 40 years that maybe it's not the right time to be protesting?
No, I'm not. Sim, like I've just said, don't have a go at them for trying to arrange it, and then they listen to the fans and go, "Do you know what, fans? You're right. Let's support the team." They listen to the fans. One thing that Change for Tottenham do, they listen and take on board what the fans say. They do what the fans say, and then the fans throw it in their face and leave before the end. I get that. I was even speaking to her. I said, do you know what? The march's probably good. You got to keep going. But what you've got to try and do, don't get me wrong, people like myself and people that have as strong an opinion as me, I would have stood out in the second half if I'd ever stepped foot in that stadium again. If I was there, I'd stay in the concourse. But they listen to the fans because it's not people like me they need to try and get to join them. It's people that are either on the fence or the opposite of myself or still think Levy's doing a good job and still think the club are going in the right direction. That's the people they've got to try and entice. And a large section of them, of those people on the other side of the fence, were, don't do this. We have to stay and support the boys through thick and thin. So they listened and said, right, we're not doing this part, and fair play to them for listening to the fans. And then the very same fans that wanted them to do it, support the team, support the lads, leave before the final whistle.
Fair enough.
That's fair.
It's a fair criticism.
That's all there is to it. If you're going to do something, stick to it. And that's all it is. But like I said, as you've seen, I've not even spoken about Ange, apart from the tactics that I thought I'd like to see him do what he's done in Europa, a little bit more in the Premier League. But these players, who should be absolutely busting a gut to try and get into that Europa League finals starting 11, have done the exact opposite.
And that's what Ange said after the game. He was very disappointed with some of the players who didn't step up when given the opportunity. And
you know what? Ange Postecoglou, absolutely bang on the money. Absolutely bang on the money. And I will say his press conference after the Europa League and his talk to the team, outstanding. Outstanding. And what he's just said, like you said, that these players, bang on the money. Bang on, like I said, I'm as much as people can say Ange tactics, whatever, I'm as much as Ange needs to take responsibility for allowing the players to do this. These players have let themselves down badly today. Badly.
All right, but we got a big one. Well, we've got one more Premier League game, then the big one. So hopefully we can put all these to one side and everyone can get behind it. We can have a positive mindset going into Bilbao. But at the moment it's hard to watch these games, isn't it, Brian, and feel positive.
Yeah, well, that's it, mate. I mean, Aston Villa, let's hope there are changes. But I would hope he would play the Aston Villa game with the tactics and the personnel, or not the personnel, we want rested, but you'd think they'd play with the tactics they'd want to play on Thursday, wouldn't you? I mean, Wednesday. You'd think he's got 2 games to prepare for Europe. So, league position's done. Like, what is it? What's the highest we can finish now without defeat?
13th, maybe.
13th, big deal, big whoop. At least use it so the players have some kind of idea and understanding of how they're going to play Wednesday. Sorry, it's so frustrating. I keep wanting to say Thursday. Wednesday.